Tell me when a finger point on. Hello guys, it's Simon at Pulse Cinemas. Sorry about that slight delay. Whenever you're doing live events, there's always things that you have to combat with, and this is a new platform that Pulse is putting out every Friday at 4 o'clock. So we want to make sure that you know all about the things that are happening at Pulse, and one of the best things to do is to have conversations about these things. So we've taken that initiative to create the Pulse Cooking Show. So what you're going to see in a minute is a pilot episode of the first cooking show at Pulse Cinemas, and I'm going to introduce you to a gentleman named David, who's been a big part of the Pulse Creative initiative, and he's got a wealth of knowledge. He's got a great understanding of the industry. I mean, he's been in it a long time, and he's going to tell us all about wonderful stories. And as well, I'm going to teach you how to cook some pasta as well, because cooking is another passion of mine, other than audio visual, of course. So, Georgie boy, roll that video, my friend.
Go.
Afternoon, guys. It is Simon at Pulse Cinemas, and you're probably thinking, why the hell am I standing in the kitchen with a load of food around me when we distribute cinema equipment? But the main reason we're doing this cooking show is because, in my opinion, cooking a good quality meal for someone is like putting together a good quality cinema, a home automation system, lighting system, for example. It's all about taking the best possible ingredients, putting it together to deliver the best possible outcome to the client. So I want to introduce you to someone called David. Now, David has joined us in the Pulse team recently and has got a wealth of experience. And I wanted to use this opportunity to cook him a nice meal and learn a little bit about him, and also learn a little bit about how Pulse can really accelerate your business in 2021, because I think we're all a little bit excited about 2021 and getting this 2020 out of the way. So, David, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, Simon, I'm all good, mate.
I'm just going to turn my flames on because I want to start cooking while we're actually talking.
Get that sorted out. Don't set anything on fire. That would be a very, very good video.
So tell us about yourself. Obviously, it's you're a new member of the team, and we want to kind of know what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, no, definitely. So so for those that don't know me, I'm David Fell. I've been working around the industry for, showing my age now, just over 20 years.
You're one of those people that looks younger than you are.
Never married, no kids, certainly helps. And
Right.
yeah, for those that do know me will realise as well, I was living in Dubai, in the Middle East, for the last 7 years, and then came back to Blighty early October.
So you've been
And
used to
relocated.
the nice weather then.
Nice weather, sand, camels, and yeah, very, very tall, shiny buildings. Yeah, it's all been
So you're in
good.
sunny Essex now.
In sunny Essex now, it's wonderful. Yeah, and then prior to them was based out of Jersey in the Channel Islands, and working internationally, so custom install, system integration, all those other terms that we use. And now joining the team, so I've, as many people will probably be happy to hear, I've now finally hung up my integrator hat.
You had a business out there doing integration.
Yes, no, I had a business in Dubai, and then prior to them one out of the UK. And over the last couple of years, I've just realised that a lot more of my clients were looking at me to take on more of an advisory role than just to be the integrator.
Yeah.
So I've come back to the UK now. We'll be basing myself here permanently for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
Working closely with you guys. Yeah. Working closely with you guys on a couple of initiatives, supporting any of your dealers that want to do some more kind of cool special projects and fun stuff. Olive, yes. And then I have a side interest as well, not side interest, but my main core business is essentially providing advisory services to ultra high net worth clients across a variety of different verticals, so not just residential, but commercial, marine, and what we affectionately call special projects.
Special projects.
Special projects, yeah.
What's special about the special projects?
Just working for slightly more discerning clients. So as a system integrator, whether it was kind of audio, video, lighting, building management systems, I've kind of got a very, very strong understanding of those as a business owner as well, kind of a lot of real world experience deploying those. We also do, under my other company, cyber security guidance, physical security guidance, red team approach. So we can do full holistic solutions. Very, very much modular architecture, very similar to cooking with different ingredients, to kind of throw that in there. And system integration, everything is very, very modular. So a client would come to us with a variety of needs, and then through my network of 20 years and my network, then we'll find the right people for that client.
Well, that's cool, because at the end of the day, this industry, yes, we distribute cinemas, for the equipment for cinema, we distribute equipment for lighting, distribute the equipment for control systems. But essentially, this world, we do see a lot of familiar faces. You see architects you worked with before, and you see interior designers you worked with before. It's kind of always about creating that network of people, because this client isn't just having a cinema, they're having all sorts of things on the property. So if you as an individual can consult and help to pull that all together, that's completely invaluable. So
no, and I think that's been really important. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of integrators that stay specifically within one kind of area that stay comfortable for them. So whether that's focusing on cinemas or multi-room audio, maybe just doing, security access control. The clients that I had from very early on needed me to see everything. And I'm very, very grateful. I've worked with some amazing architects over the years globally, amazing interior designers, yacht builders throughout Europe and America. Worked for a couple of well-known airlines that fly in and out of the Middle East as well, doing some consultancy for them, some guidance, and really just, working for me, it's not really about selling boxes. We are not a retail industry. I think a lot of people need to get their head around that. And one of the frustrations that a lot of my clients have had is that certain integrators will be coming in, and it's not knocking them in any way, but they're coming in with a, I can get this deal on this speaker and that deal on that amplifier and this deal on that controller, and that's what the client's going to get sold.
exactly.
And I've taken a very different approach. I really like to understand exactly what the client needs. We've got a wealth of wonderful technologies out there. Quite a lot of the products as well. A lot of the products that I have, and not just because I'm sitting here now in Pulse, but a lot of the brands that you have have really, really worked well for me. It's not just about the capabilities of the products, but how it's supported, how it's looked after, how it integrates with other things. We do essentially bespoke systems, and my clients just need that unique and kind of tailored approach to meet their requirements, not just selling from Excel spreadsheet. But not an integrator anymore. I want to make that very clear. And I can certainly bring a lot of real world experience.
Well, that's the thing, and a lot of the kind of history of Pulse and the kind of ethos that Mike and Kate wanted when we started the company was that we weren't just a box moving company. We were about being a partnership with the dealer to help get through projects, and also elevate dealers in some ways that they may not have worked on a project to that kind of extent before, but the over 100 years of experience that we've got within the staff at Pulse means that they can lean on us to give that guidance and throughout the process.
Now 250 with me, being quite old.
Yeah, you are an old
just
boy,
looking younger. Good surgeon.
So as well as obviously learning about David, learning about what Pulse is going to do for you in the coming years, I actually want to teach you a little bit about cooking. So I'm from Italy, and I spent a lot of time with my nan growing up, learning how to cook different dishes. And what we're doing today is a nice carbonara. So we've got some good quality pancetta in here, which we're reducing down the fat on there, because when you're making a carbonara, you don't want to actually add any additional oil because there's a lot of fat that's going to be within the meat itself. So once that's cooked off nicely, obviously the pasta is going to go in, and then we create the sauce through almost like a slurry of the egg yolk with the Parmesan cheese and a little bit of salt and pepper, and then that heat of the pan, the residual heat of the pan, actually mix that all together. So you end up with a nice kind of silky sauce, and it's not scrambled eggs, because if you do cook it too hot, you end up with, like I said, scrambled eggs. But it's important to mention that because actually the method of doing these things, like you just talked about, it's not just about the ingredients, it's about the method in which you put it together to deliver the experience for the client. And that's why we're so grateful to have such a incredible support from the dealers that we do work with. And I mean that sincerely. Thanks for the support that you do give us. So one of the things that Pulse is moving into in the next coming years is something that David has actually come over to help us support, which is Pulse Creative.
Spearheading under the guise of the Tyrants now.
Yeah, I nicknamed him the Tyrant because I have to say, George, who's behind camera, bless him, he's got such big whip marks on his back where David is like, remember your camera, remember your batteries.
Yeah, too much time, I think, for me around the security industry as well. I'm working for those clients, but no, it's one thing that I've found, and I'm sure so many of your dealers would say the same. We sell such wonderful technologies, install, integrate, design solutions with such amazing technologies, and the majority of the content out there that we have available to us when we're talking to clients, and I know a lot of manufacturers would agree with this as well, it just tends to be a little bit flat. So one thing that I wanted to do, and harking back to the days of Mike having Pulse Marketing nearly 20 years ago when I first started working with mics and Pulse started evolving, was to really show off these technologies in the best way. So much that we're planning to do a lot of business-to-business content, so training, sitting down with dealers, interviewing, creating really engaging content and stuff that would be useful and dynamic. It's going to be fun. Yeah. George will disagree because the whip marks are huge now.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the scars will go down over time. And then also doing some content as well that we can really use to engage with some of the customers. You know,
it's important to show the flair that we have in this industry.
No, 100%. And I'm very lucky. I mean, look, I didn't work just in the residential sector, so I've done film studios, recording studios over the years. I've had other careers and paths that have worked around that. A little bit of music over the years, and some live recording, and doing some quite interesting things there. So it's really bringing all of that all of that expertise together, doing something a little bit different, and trying to do something that would be beneficial and useful to dealers, customers, manufacturers, and doing something a little bit more fun. So all of my expertise working around some amazing kind of film producers, videographers, sound engineers over the years now gets brought into this, and then my experience of technology, and bring it all in, and and do something that we hope will be really good and quite exciting.
So you've seen the logo go out there. We've got the Pulse Cinemas. You've also got Pulse Creative.
Pulse Creative Solutions now, managed by the Tyrant.
Managed by the Tyrant.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for you guys, you're going to see us on camera a lot more. We're going to be doing more stuff. But this format, I think it's important for you guys at home to understand that we want you here. Come in, sit there, enjoy some nice food, and talk about your business, because our following on social media goes out very, very, it goes out across all sorts of different platforms and a big demographic of people. So it would be a really good opportunity for you to market yourself through your distributor. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the initiatives that Pulse is putting in place. We've actually got some of them in place already, but it's something that I really want you guys to get behind in the coming months, which is the case studies part of the website. So I put a little Terrific Tuesday out at the start of the week, which referenced the case studies and the power of it. But we've had a few dealers now that have got involved with it, and it has become something that is, it's very useful to business, because, I mean, with all the investments that we've made within our videography side of things, we're able to work with you on the project, obviously provide the products for the project. Once that project is then installed by yourself, we then send the team out to do full videography of it, pictures, we have a write-up done, and that then goes onto our landing page of the case studies for the website. So all the information is going to be, for the dealer, is actually going to be at the bottom of that page, isn't it? So we can actually drum up that business for you as a dealer, because you've completed that work with us.
And it's not to knock any type of printed media. That's worked really, really well. There's a lot of really, really good industry magazines that we see, and high street magazines as well. A lot of the well-known magazines around some of the products individually, and some choice, hi-fi, the usual kind of fare. But one thing, especially when our dealers are working in such beautiful homes, and again, subject to the client's permission, I have certain clients that wouldn't necessarily allow that. There needs to be a bit of discretion about how we show that. But to actually really show off the functionality, we can all shoot photos of a beautiful interior, but it doesn't really capture, the audio, the interfaces, how those spaces change with all these wonderful technologies. With the screen research screens that you have, this kind of masking screen, that really is hard to convey with a photo.
100%.
And then the whole idea behind the cooking as well, guys, was that we can just come in here, sit in my place. Simon, I'll let you know what his cooking's like. Obviously, this is the first time, but it's looking pretty good so far and smells amazing. But you guys get in here, sit down, let's talk about the jobs, have a chat about the industry. If you want to chat about industry stuff with me as well. And it's a different medium in which you can engage with your customers, you can engage with the brands, you can show off your work. And we really wanted to, use my expertise and that of the rest of the team to really, really help you create something that's more engaging, help you grow, and help you do beautiful systems.
Definitely. And I think talking about, obviously, delivery of systems is one of the things that's really important for integrators in general is it's the efficiency of that project. You're under time constraints, you're under site pressures, you need to get products in, and I feel like one thing that Pulse unfortunately hasn't had for a period of time is an e-commerce based website. So this is very big news, guys, but as of January falling into February, the website will be completed. So our dealers will be able to actually go online, they'll be able to see live stock levels, they'll be able to see all the specification sheets, everything they need for that product, which they can access out of hours. Because let's face it, you guys are busy, you're on site, you're doing things, you haven't got time to ring me up and ask to buy something. We're in the 21st century, guys, so we are really, really excited about the prospect of having that website finished in January so we can go into 2021 with a nice seamless process for you to do all your ordering as well. So we're really, really pushing hard on that one.
No, definitely. And I think for someone, for myself, I've been an integrator for so long, not just working within the UK. I work with pretty much most of the UK distributors over the years. There's a lot of really, really good people out there, some great brands. Also worked with a lot of distributors as well internationally, so releasing out to other regions as well. I think you'd all agree, guys, if it's a very, very quick order, if you're looking at, say, Anthem, RTI product, Sim2, something very, very quick that you're familiar with, get that ordered quickly, get those updates, get that done. That also then frees up the team here to help dealers with slightly more personal touch, which the website can never do, which is really talking about a job, looking at specifying systems correctly, looking at a space, and using the team's expertise here, and hopefully mine as well to put together some really, really good systems. So the Pulse is certainly. I mean, I've worked with Pulse. I've known Mike for pretty much since I started in the industry, and it's really just trying to do everything we can now to support dealers better. Running away off into the fridge.
I'm just going to get my pasta in my eggs.
This is very, very blue pizza. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Oh yeah, what you didn't see behind is me actually doing the proper MasterChef egg yolking. I did actually do that.
It was mildly impressive.
It was
good.
Quite my wife and everything.
I've done a couple of restaurants over the years as well for some of those kind of Michelin star dudes as well. So you've got a little bit of a way to go.
Yeah.
You need to start shouting and swearing at everybody and stuff, just feel like a proper head chef.
That's what we do off camera with George, though.
No, exactly. In between my whipping of him. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's get this water back up to a boil so I can put the pasta in. But one of the, I suppose, best things that Pulse has offered over the years is the demonstration facilities. And you've been doing some project management with us to actually get the upgrades done, haven't you?
Yes, no. Internal integrator hat back on, project management, Gantt charts, and all of that wonderful stuff that everyone hates. But no, there's a couple of changes. I've been working closely with Capes and Mike and some of the other team on some new products, which will be coming into the Pulse portfolio in due course. Can't say anything at the moment.
Yes.
All secret squirrel.
All exciting stuff, though, guys. It's going to be
some good stuff. That's some very, very capable systems, which are quite nice. So we're just going to a bit of rework of your reference space, and also the little one sitting behind the door. And yes, no, as you said, and there's been an integrator before, having spaces like this where integrators can kind of bring clients, walk them through, whether it's presentations by you or me or another member of the team, but to really touch and feel and see it. And then to be supported by really nice dynamic content is, it's really, really good. And I hope that the dealers going into 2021 will really benefit from that.
Definitely. I think what's quite key for this today is that you guys, when you do come in for demonstration with me, you normally see me standing by here, boring your customers to tears with all the information that I have to get across. But essentially, it is a working kitchen. This is a place to come and enjoy. And I want this demo facility to not just be a place to come and demonstrate cinemas. Use this place, have events here, bring your architects, bring your family, come and watch a film. These cinemas are so beautiful and the facility is so usable that it would be a massive shame to have it locked up all the time at night. So as a team, I think it's important that people understand that we do use this place. And I want to introduce you to the team more because we've got some incredible people behind the scenes. I mean, you've got Oliver, who is our Lutron ambassador. I mean, Ollie is he's a Swiss Army knife, man. He's doing incredible work when it comes to cinema stuff. Lutron, he's working on the operations in the back with all the Sage and integration with our website. I mean, he is an absolute asset to this business. You've got people like Simon Gibbs with incredible technical capabilities, THX certifications, HAAs. I mean, he's there to really pull these products together and help you to deliver that with your client to the best that it can be. And Kaylee in the office, I mean, she's just like a guru. She's got eyes on everything. She's making sure everything's going through. The purchasing department, I mean, you always see me on camera, but without all of these guys in the background, none of this is possible. And it's so important that when you do come down here, that you get to know these people because they're there to help in every aspect of the business.
No, 100%. And I have to say, I mean, look, it's being on the other side. Have I come across to the dark side or left the dark side? I'm not too sure. But no, coming across, I mean, it's in all of the years, Pulse was always that slightly, described as slightly more kind of like boutique distributor, personal touch. One thing again, and please understand, I'm being very, very impartial here. There's a really lovely company culture here. It's a great team. And I think you're very aware of, where little improvements could be made, really just for the benefit of the dealers. Okay. There are other distributors out there. I said before, I've worked with them all. Some of them have a slightly different approach to the way that they support dealers and serve them. Yeah. That's not necessarily to say that was wrong. There's some very, very big distributors out there. They're huge animals that are selling everything and everywhere. Yeah. And that also works for some of the brands that they represent. But I think, this space here truly is very, very special. And we're going the extra mile now with content creation, social media pushes, looking at new brands, and some new initiatives as well that we'll also discuss next year.
Oh, yes.
Watch that space. I don't know where that space is. It's over here somewhere. Watch it.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. But no, look, it's something a little bit different. It's listening to dealers. It's doing something exciting. A lot of the work that I'm going to be doing outside of Pulse as well is really as an advisor, is not to be there to be, kind of like we do with George, kind of whipping him too much and too heavily, but to support the dealers. I've been there. I've had the pain points, I've had the stresses. I've worked for many ultra high net worth clients that caused me a great deal of stress over the years. I still work with them. They're lovely clients, but it's, I've been there, done that, got the scars, got the t-shirt, had the counselling bills, done some lovely projects over the years with some fantastic clients. And I'm really, really hoping that for the dealers that feel that might be beneficial to them, that they can use my experience and my knowledge to better what they do. I'd like to be doing a lot more training in-house, good, quick, concise training on a variety of different products.
Yes, training is so
and just things that help, because it's very, very hard to remember everything. I can see why people stay in one vertical. I think I'm probably slightly unhinged, but I try to work in all of them. But the principles are very much the same. It's we get so caught up sometimes in the technology and whether this box had a 5-star review over that box and whether this has got more channels than that and what HDMI. In reality, we are working with people that have a requirement for a solution, and it's our job and our role to ask the right questions, work with those people and deliver something that really is quite special.
We absolutely love having you. I mean, the amount of energy that David has brought to this business since joining us is absolutely incredible. I mean, I've always had a push on social media. I've always tried to get content out there as much as I can to you guys, but what David has done for me is given me a real avenue to get that information out there. So I said, I'm absolutely loving having you here. I mean, you've brought a wealth of knowledge to us, and you've given me a real push, as I say, with the whole sort of social media aspect of my role, which is it's really, really important. So.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And I think it's, as I've touched on before, I knew that I was going to be coming away from wearing that integrator hat. I'm very grateful for the opportunity for Mike's and Kate's to be joining the team here and working in an advisory capacity, working on business development. And yeah, I really, really hope that my experience, my way of looking at things might benefit some of your dealers. You've got some great dealers here. Don't knock me, there's some amazing work coming out. I've met a few that have come around here for demonstrations recently. Really nice work. Really enjoying their approach to things. The way that they can talk through is very, very clear. There's a very, very good integrators here. For the younger guys out there, hopefully we can impart some wisdom, some support, help them through that process. And it's not about there's a design, off you go, there's a design, off you go. It's really helping them to understand why we design, why we choose these different products, and making sure that they are completely and utterly armed to answer any question that a client has.
Exactly.
Or in some cases, a client's representative, if you're talking the ultra wealthy ones, because they don't tend to meet with people. They're just swanning around in Monaco.
They have people that
Gym
meet
Palace.
with
Have people that meet with people, yes. Because I haven't got time for that. I'm just down in Monaco on the boat, yes. But yeah, so I'm open to supporting anyone that would like that support, you know. And then outside of the immediate Pulse offering, if there's other elements there, then yeah, I'd see where we can assist and support. As we said, Mike and I are working on some other initiatives outside of Pulse as well. So exciting times. I'm back in the UK after 24 years of not living here.
Just to let you know, I was 7 years old then.
7 years old. Am I old enough to be your father? By Jeremy Kyle standards, I'm old enough to be your granddad.
True. We didn't even get
That's
paid
good.
250 quid to be on the show.
Yeah.
But talking of initiatives, I mean, this forum, guys, is going to be the place to find that information. So make sure that you are following us on all of our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of those things, because this is where a lot of information is going to come out. Because gone are the days where I could just jump in my car and go and see you in an office, or all this COVID stuff that's happening in the world. We need to be able to reach you more regularly without that kind of human interaction, which for me is actually really sad, because I think a lot of people out there will know me as the cuddly person when we're at ISE and we get to see each other and have cuddles and all that kind of stuff. Those days will come. Don't get me wrong, we will be back to some sort of normality, but this is going to be a really good forum for people to be able to engage with Pulse moving forward.
No, 100%. And it's the whole idea behind doing the cooking show, kind of creating this as a type of medium. And I think there'll be some other variations that we'll look at as well, is not everyone's going to be comfortable on camera. I'm certainly not as comfortable on camera as I may come across. And, you know, for dealers, for integrators, for manufacturers, it creates a slightly different space where we can just have a chat, engage on good topics, talk about projects. The type of equipment, as you're aware, that we're starting to bring in here now allows us to basically run full film and videography broadcasts. It needs to be good. Everything is very, very workflow efficient. Very, very similar to designing a system for someone's home. Everything needs to work. You know, I want that in my life to do this. I want that.
Whole thing, yeah.
So I'm really, really hoping that we can have, you know, a couple of the dealers, the installers, manufacturers coming in here to get more comfortable on camera and to reach a bigger audience. You know, to discuss their offering, whether that's a product that they make or whether that's solutions that they design, because social media can really take us a lot further and put it out there. I'm aware that there will be, you know, other companies out there that will try to do the same, and I embrace that really at the end of the day. Because the more we can start to engage with our customers in a real way,
we're an industry.
Really,
you know, we're an industry of people. Do you know what? I can't find my oven gloves, which is a good job that I've got asbestos hands, because I'm going to be needing to use some pastel water in it. That's going to really hurt.
Excellent. Shall we take you off camera, and if you do screaming, we'll just cut the audio?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to swear on it.
All over Simon.
But no, I think the whole kind of initiative is really, really exciting, and we're so grateful that we've had the platform to be able to do it with educators. I mean, last week you would have seen the Storm Audio webinar that went out. It's not just going to be me cooking. There's going to be informative stuff. There's going to be all sorts of things. And like we say, we embrace the opportunity to work with you more through this.
No, definitely. And one of the offerings I'd like to kind of offer under the Pulse Creative Solutions, if there are dealers out there that are looking to engage with customers now, obviously, thanks to this wonderful global pandemic, which even if you're watching this in 3 years' time, I'm sure that everyone's going to remember this one. But whether it's dealers that want to start doing video conferencing, you know, webcam and microphone plugged into a laptop, we're going through some more advanced systems, walk-arounds, engagement. If there's, we're there to support the dealers, not just on throwing you on camera and talking about, you know, job A or job B, but, you know, to do things that are much more engaging, to kind of guide them through in the background, to support and give guidance on social media, you know, on content creation, whether that be audio podcasts, video, photography, and anything else. I'm more than happy to support the right dealers. And, you know, as and where appropriate, you know, it is a bit of a minefield. You've seen equipment list that I've put together, and I'm sure that 90%
I'm really excited actually.
most people wouldn't be familiar with those technologies, wouldn't know why we use them, and how those can really kind of achieve. With obviously, we've got Josh here as well, a very, very talented videographer who's going to be working closely with us.
Good job he's tall, because he's able to get
He's incredibly tall, yeah. He's
interesting angles, I suppose.
Why he's going to knock himself out on the ceiling. But yeah, so we're here, and I'm open to ideas. If there's anything that viewers would like to do, want to pick our brains on it, any new things that they'd like to see on the platform, if you want to see more manufactural content, you want to see more training videos, please understand I refuse to do death by PowerPoint training. It's just not happening. Yeah, we've had enough of that this year with Zoom meetings and Cisco WebEx.
Everyone's sitting in their pants in reality.
No,
shirt and tie on in the top. So
yeah, so just make it a little bit more dynamic and engaging. That's good.
So what we're doing now is I'm mixing in the
getting a lot of noise in the microphone.
The slurry. So essentially, like I say, when you're cooking this, you want to make sure that you haven't got your pan on, because if you've got your pan on, then you end up scrambled eggs. What you want to use is the residual heat of the pan itself, and also the fact that yes, my hands are hurting, is molten hot. So it will give a nice kind of silky finish to the pasta instead of a scrambled egg finish.
You literally just flicked egg all over me. It was wonderful.
Did I?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's all right. It's an action shot, mate.
Smattering.
We do distribute D-Box, so we're just adding an extra element.
Oh, exactly. I could have done that on slow motion and just had it kind of like a little shock factor. Yeah.
So one of the hardest things to do with dinner is you get all your bits out, you cook a nice dinner, you've got a plan to make that girl feel special for you, but then in actual fact, it's plating the pasta, which is actually a really hard thing to do. So one of the things my nan taught me was to use a spatula like this. You rotate it around and then you place it in the middle and then let it just nicely sort of fall off of the spatula itself, and you end up with a nice central plated bit of pasta. So obviously you're probably thinking this is quite a small portion, but in actual fact this is one of the heaviest pastas. And the interesting thing about carbonara is, my granddad told me this, it was actually, it means of the coal, and one of the most popular places that this was cooked in the 40s was in the prisoner of war camps, because in the American prisoner of war camps a lot of the Italian soldiers would be given powdered eggs and ham. So they would mix it with the pasta and they would cook this kind of nice, quick, simple dish. But it's so easy to cook, but it is so tasty at the same time.
Am I going to get flashbacks now to my time in the security services?
You might do a little bit. I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of parsley for you. Do you like some more parmesan on there, my friend?
I'm good for that right now.
You're good for parmesan? Well, I'm going to have some parmesan on mine. But my friend, this is your wonderful piece of pasta. You do realise the others are just going to come around here and just eat. We're not going to really talk too much. Well, let me get you a fork, and I want you to try it and tell people that it actually tastes nice, because that is very important. So
I'm sure anyone watching that no bribery has taken place.
And I'm going to serve myself up a plate. Do you guys want a plate? George, do you want some pasta? You're one of these people that don't eat anything with sauce, aren't you? It's like he literally eats dry cheeseburgers. And it's just... And you're Turkish, so you should have some sort of...
the youth of today.
I remember once, actually, we went to the CEDIA Awards, right? So it was live at the CEDIA Awards. And George, it was like literally his first week in the Pulse team. And we sat down to eat. And George just looked at me and was like, what is that on the plate? And I was like, it's crab. And he's like, I don't eat crab. And I was like, oh, well, I'll eat it for you. So that night I was extremely full, as I was literally munching on not only my food, but George's food as well. So,
yeah.
How is it?
It's really, really good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Good, good.
Can I start using terms like al dente and stuff?
Oh, I'll make sure it was al dente for you.
Really, really good. Yeah, very good.
Guys, we really, really enjoyed having you here today. Please make sure that you tune in every week to see something new and creative from Pulse Cinemas. But David, seriously, man, thank you for coming in. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Fist bump, COVID fist bumps.
Exactly. I might wash my hand before I eat, actually. So.
Yeah, all good. Thanks, guys.
See you later. Welcome back, and I really hope you enjoyed that. I think I enjoyed cooking it. Did you enjoy eating it?
It was pretty good, yeah.
You're not just saying that?
No, I'm not just saying that.
Well, that's a good thing. So while we were filming that, we did receive some direct messages, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to ask David some questions while we were still live. And a question, it was actually coming through from one of our dealers, and he said, what advice have you got for the kind of newer integrators coming into the industry? Like how to approach jobs, how to work with different clients, what's kind of like a good recommendation in that respect?
No, that's fine. I think certainly when I was starting out, one thing that was very important to me was really asking the client the right questions. Sometimes I think, and I've seen this with quite a few integrators, I've certainly fallen foul of this, is we get so caught up on the technologies, how many channels does AVR have, what kind of speakers am I going to put in the ceiling, all of this type of technology. And actually in reality, when people are living with these, although a lot of that thing is kind of quite important to them, it is really important to be sensitive to the space, think about the space, make friends with the interior designers, really start to understand your client. They're the ones that have to live with this. And it was very, very apparent to me very, very quickly that it wasn't just about my kind of the learning about the technology, but also kind of learning about the client, their lifestyle, how they use that space. In some cases, for some of my slightly more wealthy clients, is it a primary residence? Is it a secondary residence? Are they listening more to music? Do they really love movies? Does the space need to have better lighting? All of these different things. And sometimes I think a lot of people kind of miss that it's not us living in that house, it's a client, and we're providing solutions and a lifestyle, not big shiny black boxes with blue LEDs and stuff.
And actually, I think as well, what you just said about kind of the right questioning, it's something that comes up often in demonstrations. We'll have new dealer relationships that have come into Pulse, and I've formed a relationship with them, and it's our first demonstration. And one of the things that we make a point of during that is kind of playing with the right questions, because it really impacts the design of the system. It is about putting speakers and a projector and a screen in a room to make a cinema, or putting a lighting control system in. But if you've got as much information from that client as possible, then you're able to fulfill that job to the best of your ability. And one thing that's important is, let's face it, I'm a salesperson, I've got a big mouth, I like to talk, but we have got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So if you're listening to your client's expectations and what they want, also they may not understand necessarily what they want. So partnering with a good distributor with demonstration facilities is a really good tool for you guys, because it gives you the platform to be able to let the client experience it, and also let them understand the perception of what it is you want to actually achieve within the job. So this is where it's really nice to see some success stories that we've got out there with some dealers that have started with us and have gone on to create some really incredible projects,
some lovely projects. And I think I touched on it with the pre-recorded session that we did before, where I'm really hoping I can help some of the dealers. Sometimes it might just be bouncing around ideas, 5-10 minutes, talk about a project, talk about a space, and think about different options that we can do for that, and the reasoning behind why those options would be appropriate. At the end of the day, I remember I did sound engineering many years ago, about 5 generations ago, before you even existed. And I remember one of my lecturers at the time saying that you don't have an emotional connection with the magnets and the speaker cone driver and the little baffle and the wooden case. You might have an emotional connection with the finish on the speaker.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice color.
If it works in the space, but the emotional connection is about it's audio, it's the way that makes us feel, it's the way that a space makes us feel. And it's not just audio and video. We can watch amazing films that have been beautifully produced, but if they've got a bad script, it's quite boring and we want to stop watching it. But lighting, the peace of mind from integrated security systems, the peace of mind and the enjoyment from having a system that actually just works. So not 15 pages of different navigation screens to get through to turning my skybox to the next channel. Important. Everything is simple, and I think we can all be a little bit guilty at times of doing very, very overcomplicated systems from a user interface point of view, when all the client really wants is on, lights up, play Barry White.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Romantic nights, and open a bottle of wine. Do you know what I mean?
Does it open the bottle of wine for you?
Yeah, and still to this day, we still don't have the button for muting the kids. But
that's
we're
true.
working.
That's true. That's true. And while I've got you guys on as well, one of the subjects that I wanted to quickly cover was, let's face it, the big red man flying around in his sleigh. Obviously, Christmas is coming, and I think we've always had a Christmas run. Everyone's always busy at Christmas. Everyone needs to get stuff in before Christmas. But this year, we all need a little bit of joy. This year, I think you're going to have a lot of your clients wanting these systems to be completed before Christmas. And Pulse and the guys that I mentioned in the actual cooking event we're here to get that done for you. We can put our blood, sweat and tears into making sure that project is fulfilled for you, for your client, so that on that lovely day when Christmas drops, everyone's sat there listening to their cinemas or playing with their lighting control systems and showing off to their mates in their bubbles when they come round for a quick turkey. And it's just a really, really exciting time. And obviously all the things that we've mentioned in the show that are coming up next year, again, are extremely exciting. Make sure that you're staying tuned to all of our social media platforms, because as I said, this is going to be our main forum to get all this information out to you. And I really want to extend it. I can see Kane has challenged me to a vegan dish. Now, I'll look into this. I mean, I can definitely do you a Parmigiano, which is essentially an aubergine version of a lasagna. So I can do that. That sounds nice to you, Kane, and we can come in and do that together. But I really want you guys to join us in the kitchen. Get in here, learn how to do some cooking, have a chat about your business, and it's a great opportunity for you to promote yourselves through our social media platforms. So I think we're going to end it there.
Yep, no, all good. Thanks for joining us, guys. Just as a quick wrap up, so the kind of the cooking forum we're going to be doing on the first Friday of each month moving forwards. As we've touched on with some of the previous webinars, there are also going to be interviews with manufacturers, not just dealers. We're also looking to do some interviews with some contacts that I have and actually Pulse have within kind of film production.
Yes.
So the guys that do the lighting for the films that you watch, the guys that do the sound for the films that you watch, some of the videographers, really starting to kind of remind me, you, and everyone that's watching why we do this, where the emotional connections come from. I'm also really interested in having a chat with some architects, interior designers, other people that work very, very closely to us and complement the work that we do, and get on and have some conversations. So if you'd like to use this as a platform, we'd love to hear from you. And I think we'll wrap up for now. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. If you're watching this retrospectively, this was done on a Friday, so we hope you had a lovely weekend. And in 3 years' time, lots of weekends between then as well.
Exactly.
All right, then.
Thank you so much, guys. And thank you, David, for coming into
COVID fist bump. Maybe next year we won't be doing this. Take care, guys. And thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.